everybody. Hello everybody, hello everybody, hello everybody, hello everybody, hello everybody. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today I am back with another embarrassing stories from Reddit video. Reddit. I have a few stories for you guys. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories. 5 stories. But majority of them are really short. There's only one like a super long one. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my lumbar pillow. Okay, so I'm gonna jump in. I think the long one is the second one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel. Okay. The first one is called Movie Theater Moment. My dad and I were seeing Oppenheimer at our local movie theater, and I got up to go to the restroom. I came back and sat down, finding it strange that only one drink was sitting on the table. I lean to the right and say, "Let me know if you want some more drink." I look up, it's some random guy, and he's looking at me like, WTF, while sort of shaking his head. I go, "You're not my dad." My dad and I had a good laugh. Bonus cringe. Another hilarious moment occurred before this when my dad dropped and shattered the lit candle light that you set on the table so waiters/waitresses can see where you're sitting to bring your food. That's pretty embarrassing, but it's like not terrible. It's not that bad. I love those movie theaters where they bring your food to your chairs. I've only been one time, but those are cute. Okay, that was like kind of embarrassing, but nothing crazy. I forgot my disclaimer. Usually I always say in the beginning of these videos, I don't actually read these stories. I just kind of read the first line and the last line in the comments and see if there's something that I would like to read. So I'm just as surprised as you are that that was not embarrassing. Okay, this is the super long one, and I'm gonna drink some water before I read it. I got my giant water bottle here. Okay, it's called I Did the Gamers Wrong. So, let me get some background info in. Apparently I can't read today. I'm a huge gamer. I grew up in a home where my parents felt negatively about games, comics, etc. I wasn't even allowed to have a console till I got a job because you're already lazy. We don't want you to have an incentive to be lazy, irresponsible, messy, or neglectful. In general, they had a pretty mean outlook on the hobby, so now I always feel like I have something to prove when it comes to my work-life gaming balance. I'm pretty aggressive when it comes to chores and keeping a routine. As you can imagine, personal hygiene is pretty far up on that list. Don't worry, I've got a therapist to work through some of this stuff, and I don't talk to my parents anymore, lol. I mean, that's like sad, that's not lol, but you see so. But I just got this job around a year ago. I work in healthcare. I work in an office, but I assist caregivers, nurses, CNAs, etc., and match them with clients, and have to consider skill set and personalities to make a good pair. We work in a client's home, as a lot of them are disabled. It wasn't long after I started that I heard that I had had heard the others, only 6 of us work in the office, talking down about gamers. They're all a bit older, 50 to 60s, so it was no surprise to me that they had this mindset. I eventually ended up telling them about my gaming, and they were actually quite positive given the situation. They had a lot of questions about my personal life and my relationship dynamics. He's a gamer too, but they overall seemed surprised that I didn't match their imagined stereotype. Things were going great for a while. My inner child was getting the justice she thought she sought years ago, and it seemed to be helping me a lot in my job, mainly with IT help. Okay. I often would verbalize how gaming had given me the skill that helped us out. I for sure was low-key. Oh my god. Excuse me. I for sure was low-key over-exaggerating the usefulness of gaming, but it worked. Now we have a decent amount of time in the office where we can talk while we work. So of course I talked a lot about my partner, pets, my other hobbies besides gaming, and etc. So fast forward to this past month. For a few months now, around once every week or so, I'll bring a home-cooked dish, casserole, dessert, snack, etc. This person says etc. a lot. I was honored they came to trust me to cook for them, and I truly enjoy making food for others. Okay, so last Thursday I was talking about how I would be late on the dish since I had been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate. I had admitted I had been glued to the screen a little more than usual, and I was struggling to get my other stuff done. I'm already off to a counterproductive start with this admission. But then my boss, who intimidates me a little, asked me if it's hard to pull myself away from the game to walk my dog. Now, I don't know why, but that question did not compute in my brain. Instead, my brain decided to answer a different question, which was, do you forget to walk your dog? I answered, oh no, she's very good at telling me when she needs to go, and if I don't take her, she just poops on the floor. Now, I forgot to add on to the end of this sentence, so that's extra incentive for me to take her when she asks, and without that added detail, he gets these wide eyes, smiles, and walks off. At first, I didn't realize that I had basically just told my boss that I'm not only okay, but allow my dog to poop on the floor. So I was confused by the wide eyes and moved on from it. Well, as you can imagine, today when I brought in my When I brought in my squash casserole, I was confused why no one ate it. I made a joke about it, assuming that people were not that hungry, but then one of the ladies goes, "How's your dog, sweetie? Is she getting enough walks lately?" It hit me. They don't want to eat the food anymore because they think I live in a pro-dog poop floor home. I awkwardly tried to correct the miscommunication, but to no avail. The damage has been done. The worst part is, when I was trying to defend myself, one of them goes, "It's okay, sweetheart. You're a gamer. Just don't neglect your dog. It's not sanitary." So anyway, I guess it's time to change my gamer tag to XXX_poopfloor_XXX. That's kind of silly. Like, they took that way too seriously. I feel like, I don't know, I guess it's not obvious. Maybe people do let their dogs poop on the floor. I don't know. My dog poops on a bed and I flush it down the toilet when she's done, so I can't relate to anybody that lets their dog poop on the floor. Like, I've never encountered someone like that. I feel like they're taking that way too seriously. Clearly that was a miscommunication. Like, come on. And now they're not gonna eat her food. Like, that's so petty. Let her explain herself. I don't know. They're being kind of hard on the girl. Alright. Yikes. Okay. Oh boy. In male 33, my free time, I am a barber. I'm the type who's spontaneous and sometimes just does things that come up in my mind. I've been cutting this guy's hair for a while now. We sort of fool around, make a lot of jokes. Typical barber banter. Last time he was here to cut his hair, I opened the door and my 2-year-old came out to greet him. The guy took my son in his arms. Before I go on, let me tell you this. It's not weird for me to sometimes give a friend a kiss or a hug. It's something that in my country some guys frown upon and others just are the same. So it's always something you have to sense. In this case, I made a mistake. I just said to him, "So nice to see you. Let me give you a kiss." I come closer, and because I'm not as tall as him, I reach for his neck and pull him towards me. It's at this time, looking in his eyes and feeling how he was just fighting my attempt to give him a kiss on the cheek, I knew I effed up. Not knowing better, I tried a second time, and the penny dropped. The only reaction I had to make it less awkward was by saying, "I'm trying to kiss my kid." I gave up and was embarrassed the whole time. That is extremely, extremely embarrassing and awkward, and oh my gosh, I am so mortified for this guy. That's so embarrassing. That guy was like, and then he still tried again. Bro, he even said himself that he knew the first time that it was a mistake. So why would you do it again? Like, please. You didn't even try to save yourself. Yikes. Anyway, alright. That was crazy. That was a wild ride. Okay, the next one. Connected Bluetooth speaker. I work a cashier at a gas station. We don't have a radio player or speaker here, so we use Bluetooth speakers, and usually the person working the shift would connect with the speaker and play their choices of songs/music. One day, while I was in charge at the counter, I connected my phone with the Bluetooth speaker and played some music as usual. After my shift ended, I still have to do some paperwork, so I stayed back and started doing my work in the office. Forgetting that I still did not disconnect my phone with the speaker, I opened a game app. This game, if you want a better reward, you need to watch the ads, and it's kind of an idle game, so I can just run the game and not do much. So I watch a bunch of ads. The whole time watching the ads, I did not hear the sounds and didn't bother looking because I thought I had already muted the sound because I always put my phone in silent mode. Okay. Somehow, all the ads I watched at that time were kind of spicy. Like a girl suddenly moans because her leg got stuck in some hole, and some ads were a little NSFW, which is not suitable for work, in case you didn't know. And I still didn't bother about the sound. My coworker, who is working his shift outside, keeps calling me to help him out with this dumb stuff, and I ignored him until I finished my work. Only when I got in my car did I realize that my phone is still connected with the speaker, realizing that he was trying to tell me that he and the customers can hear what was playing. Just imagine how they looked hearing those sounds. I am still horrified by it. He still acts like it never happened and never talked about it. His coworker's a jerk. Why wouldn't he say something? Are you kidding me? He should have just shot him a text and be like, "Bro, your phone's connected to the Bluetooth still." Like, would have saved so much embarrassment for himself and the customers. I'm blaming this whole thing on the coworker. Like, seriously, he should have said something. Let's be real. If I was the coworker, I would have said something. And I don't know if is that really embarrassing for him, because like nobody knew that it was coming from his phone except for him and the coworker. And like I said, the coworker's a jerk, so who cares what he thinks at this point? He could have like resolved that whole situation in literally 2 seconds. The coworker coworkers on my front. I don't like him. Okay, I'm gonna take another sip of water and then I'll read my last one. I love ice water. Alright. This one is called Organism versus Orgasm in the 6th grade. I feel like, again, I didn't read this, but I feel like I can relate already. I would watch a lot of R and PG-13 movies from a very young age, and my parents thought I was mature enough to understand most concepts. However, I would often hear the word orgasm, especially in one of my favorite teen flicks, Sugar and Spice, where the characters discuss this a lot. Is Sugar and Spice that movie where the cheerleaders like put on Hillary Clinton masks and like rob supermarkets? Is that movie? I think it is Sugar and Spice. I still don't know. Oh, I still didn't know what it actually was. So during a 6th grade science lesson, my teacher kept using the word organism, and I thought he was wrong. Note, I had really good grades all through my schooling and attended a strict private Christian school that my parents would often joke about being ignorant about things or behind the times. So I assumed I was smarter than my teachers. Oh my goodness. This led to me raising my hand in class and correcting my teacher by saying, "Don't you mean orgasm, not organism?" Luckily, the class was full of mostly devout students, so nobody really reacted, minus my teacher, who stood there with mouth open and then just said, "No, it's not." He later called my parents, who sat me down when I got home. Did anybody else make this similar mistake in school, or was this just me? Yikes, that is extremely, extremely embarrassing. But I mean, at least none of the other students like laughed at her. Like, they probably didn't know what the heck an orgasm was either. So that's still really embarrassing. Then your parents have to sit you down and explain what an orgasm is because you confused it with organism. That actually reminds me, when I was in kindergarten, my mom, I'm not gonna get into that part, but basically when I was in kindergarten, I don't know if it was kindergarten or 1st grade, wherever they teach you how to spell, we were spelling words. We had to spell words for a quiz, and we were spelling out numbers specifically. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but like spelling the word out, that was the quiz. And when it came to 6, I put sex instead of 6, and that's how my mom ended up telling me what sex means in like 1st grade or something ridiculous like that. Embarrassing as well. So that was my embarrassing story for the day.